Hello you. Today I'm trying to do a 20-mile hike. It's an overcast day, it's quite close. I've done a couple of miles already and it's my birthday. I'm 49 today. So what better way to celebrate my birthday than with a big hike. At the moment you can see the sea over there. It's really calm, isn't it? I'm walking along the canal that sort of divides Minster from Sheerness. Last time I walked the other way along this canal bank and I commented that the footpath bridge that crossed the canal just along here seems to have become a bit broken and no one could cross it, and now it looks like they've started to repair that footbridge, but it does mean that they've closed this pathway off, and I'm going to have to sort of work my way around the barriers there. So I'm not sure why they closed so much of the pathway, but I made it around the closure. There's a closed sign this end of the footpath, but not on the other end. Not sure why they didn't put one down that end. Anyway, I've made it around. I've finished walking along the canal. I've gone across St George's Avenue, and now I'm heading around the edge of Queensborough. I think you can just see behind me Brielle Way. I'll be heading around the other side of that in about a mile and a half. So far I have done about 5 miles, so perhaps a quarter of the way round I want to get today. I've now gone through Queensborough, just heading up across the railway crossing and over to the lapel bank, again where they store the vehicles that come off the boats into Sheerness. Again, I'm crossing the footbridge over the road where they store cars either side. Got the lapel bank over this way, and just more cars over that way. Now past the lapel bank where they store all the cars. That's the area over behind me there with the wind towers. And now we're going past the swale. It's not a river, it's the swale. And Thames estuary beyond there. This is where they meet. And there's the Isle of Grain in the background. Just coming into Queenborough now. Just getting into Queenborough now. Nice and peaceful here. A few people walking past. Cormorant fishing in the distance. Finally in Queenborough. At the quay here. Bumped into one of my best friends. He's just sorting out a boat down the road. It was nice to see him. He said happy birthday, which was good. And so now I'm on to Rushington. I'm now around the other side of Queenborough, and if I come over here, you should be able to see the wind generators, turbines over there, and then the pier at Queenborough there. So I've come around this way. I'm not sure. Looks like a path here, but where it leads to, I don't know. Hopefully around this little bit of peninsula, we'll see. There's some grey old clouds in the sky. I need headed off down this tiny little peninsula that goes, I don't know, off to nowhere. It's a tiny little peninsula, but it's about a quarter of a mile long, so I'm glad I didn't head off down there. I've managed to turn the right way now, and I'm heading back towards the bridge again. I'm back on the swale again. So, what can we see? Well, I can see Rochester just over there, and the towers that they've got there. Makes it easy to point that out. And I suppose the hill over there, that would be Gillingham in the background there. The thing I'm interested in seeing is that bridge, which means that I'm heading in the right direction. it's difficult to get lost on Sheppey, and I can see it's probably only about half a mile away. The bridge is just going up at the moment, so let a boat through, so there should be a boat either coming along here or that's been along here. All the boats, they get off to the Nauf plant over there where they make the plasterboard, have to come through this little narrow section of water, and I suppose they bring coal to fire, to feed the fires, to make the steam that generates the electricity plant and the power and the paper mills that used to be there. Obviously here on Sheppey, because it's an island of about 12 miles long and 6 miles wide, I can't really get away from everything and really get into the wilderness. I think if you look over on this side, it's looks pretty wilderness, but then you get the jet ski zooming up and down the water there. God, they're noisy. Not sure how they interfere with the wildlife that's here. I often watch these television documentaries about the loss of biodiversity and think back to when I was young in the 80s and remember going out and watching all these the animals that were there. They're so much more difficult to see now, and although Sheppey's, in my opinion, overdeveloped, it's amazing how there are still these areas where wildlife could exist if we let it. I'm just a little bit concerned that we're just going to keep going, and the houses that are there in the distance are going to come closer and closer to this grassland, and any wildlife that we've got there will be gone. A lot of idiots on those jet skis getting far too close to it, riding its wakes. I don't know why they're getting in front of it. Anyway, off my soapbox, and here's the ship coming that went under the bridge. I'll video that as it goes past. There's a lot of idiots on those jet skis getting far too close to it, riding its wakes. Finally, I've got to the Kings Ferry bridge. I'm just about to go under it. Let's just see how far round this is. So far, so this is exactly the 10-mile mark. So halfway. We'll carry on going, one foot in front of the other, as they say. That's under one bridge. The only trouble is the tide's in, and I'm not going to be able to get under the other bridge. Because the tide was in, I've had to walk away from the bridge to get around the railway track and this marshland here that you can't get across. And I've got to head back towards that bridge again. Oh dear. Oh, I'm out of breath. So I finally got to the other side of the bridge. Tide had been out, I would have just been able to go underneath it, but since it wasn't, I've had to go all the way around, which was over another 2 miles, 2.1 miles I think, to get around it. And now I'm walking along the sea wall or sea bank, whatever you want to call it, along to Elmley, and I'll be eventually heading off over there where the other wind turbines that I go past are. although walking around Sheppey, I'm never far from home. It's just 2 miles in that direction. I think I've done about 14 miles now. The trouble is, it's all in the open. There's no shelter from the elements. So if it's windy, you get the wind. If it rains, you get the rain. If it's sunny, well, there's no way of hiding from the sun. I suppose that's the difference on the Appalachian Trail. Firstly, the paths are well trodden. At the moment, I'm traipsing through some high grass on this trail. It's quite hard work on the legs. But the sun does beat down on your head. There's no getting away from that. I think the one benefit of this, other than the fact that I'm close to home and can just go back at any moment, is that I'm not going up and down anything, which is something I've really got to practice somewhere along the line. You know, everything's very flat because I'm just going around at sea level. You know, hardly any ups and downs, or puds as they call them. So there we go. I was looking for the bridge and couldn't find it. It's hiding behind the buildings on the other side of the swale. Just that we turn around, have a bit of a curve in the swale there. So I followed that around. I don't know what this building is here. Some sort of concrete bunker, I expect, during the war, stop people coming up the swale, the enemy. Now at the 15-mile point in this hike, just coming up to the Elmley hides. I think I'm going to try and get in one of the hides and have a little rest and charge this phone up before it runs out. I'm going to head into this hide now. Going to hide in there and have some snacks, bit of water and 10-minute rest. Stretch out my legs. So I've stopped for lunch, taken off my jumper because I'm getting a bit warm. I've done 17 miles now. Put a hat on just to keep a bit of sun off my head, and maybe if I can get it around my ears, the top of my ears. There we go, just negotiating a cattle grid. There we are. Oh. There's some nice shell ducks there and some big old swans. They won't bother by me at all. And heading off to one of those buildings that stands in the middle of nowhere. I quite like those buildings that stand in the middle of nowhere. They're just they're really nice. I'd love to live in one of them. This one's a bit derelict out here. And I'm much closer to these windmills here And the windmills that are right back off in the distance over there, so that means that I'm nearly at Eastchurch. So I just had a look in this house here. We got these cages, but as I looked in, a load of bats flew out. Well, I think they were bats. They might have been little swiftlets. I don't know. Difficult to tell. They were small and very quick. Oh, the miserable farmers. They've got a cheek, they have. Don't let you go out across the footpaths. Don't signpost the footpaths. And then put signs up saying that the footpath's closed so no one walks on it, and then they can get it closed. I think it's terrible. I'm going to put in a complaint to the council about that. So I've just walked probably 2.5 miles for nothing there, and I've done 21 miles so far, so I'm going to stop at the prison and get a lift home.